And Joan Weisman is a real estate broker. From 1998 to 2003, she trained in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is the study of the language and thinking of excellence. She will be sharing with us today from that training. Please welcome Joan Weisman with her speech titled, My Rules for Me, My Rules for You. Thank
you. John Lennon, in his solo song, Imagine, asked us to imagine a world of peace, of acceptance, and of harmony. And today, I'm going to teach you a simple but deep and powerful tool that, when applied to your life, will not only make it more fun, easier, freer, but also allow you in your own small way to contribute to peace on earth. Sound good? Mm-hmm. This tool is encapsulated in the phrase, my rules for me, your rules for you. Shel Rose Chavez is an NLP trainer and author of the book, Mastering the Language of Influence. And she has worked for years and years inside companies, getting to different departments, different personalities, different levels, to work together better because they communicate better, because they understand each other, and because of the acceptance that that understanding brings. My rules for me refers to the truth that each one of us has skills, has experience, expertise, learning, beliefs, and at least the potential for a connection to inner knowing, gut instinct, creative flow. And every group, whether it's a Toastmasters club, whether it's a company, whether it's a family or a country, works better when each individual person is at their best. My rules for me is actually a natural state of being. My 3-year-old nephew, who I saw last weekend, knows exactly what he wants. His life is moving from one super fun activity to the next super fun activity, and that exuberance is natural for each one of us. But over time, it gets overlaid with your rules for me. Parents, school, teachers, coaches, even siblings, even TV, and later partners and bosses have your rules for me. And the tricky thing about your rules for me is sometimes we accept them so deeply, they become part of our unconscious belief structure, and we don't know we put them in place and we don't know we can change them. Tradition, while offering much good information and having much value, is actually pretty much your rules for me. It's things that people figured out that worked in one time in one place for one person or group of people, and that we're trying to overlay onto this time and this place and these people. My rules for me, your rules for you. Sometimes Arthur Rubinstein said, there's no formula for success, except perhaps unconditional acceptance of life and what it brings. Sometimes we mistakenly apply my rules for you. The sweetest example I have of my rules for you was in college. I had my first long-term boyfriend, and I was also in a photography class. It was before digital photography, so I had taken some great photos of us. I picked one, I'd gone into the dark room, I developed some copies, I picked out 2 different frames, put them in, and they were up on the mantelpiece, and we were standing in front choosing who was going to get which frame. And my rules for me at the time said that if I was in love with someone that I should sacrifice and be generous. So I was very generously trying to give him the silver frame, which I liked better. And he equally generously was trying to give me the black frame. And we just went back and forth like a tug of war for 20 minutes, and it got really tense and uncomfortable. And finally I said, which one do you like better? And he said, I like the black one. And I said, great, I like the silver one. And it was as if the clouds opened up and the light shone in, because I realized that by honoring myself and my own desires, I actually honored the best for everyone. My rules for me, your rules for you. Your rules for you speaks to the truth that just like each one of us has skills, experience, expertise, and belief systems, and at least the potential for a connection to gut instinct, inner knowing, that creative flow, so does every other person of every age that you'll ever meet in your entire life. My younger brother, who's 10 years younger than I am, a few years ago, he and I were working on a property in Colorado. And we needed to put out signs, for rent signs at major intersections, but we needed them to be weatherproof. So I had bought some materials and I put him in charge of the project, but my big sisterness was not letting me go do what I needed to do. I was micromanaging him, and my sweet, even-tempered brother growled at me. And I thought, I think I'm going to back up and go over here. But what happened is when I came back and the signs were done, the solution he'd come up with was actually way better, several times better, both in look and in durability with the solution that I'd had. And I never would have gotten the benefit of that solution if I hadn't let him do what he was good at. My rules for me, your rules for you. Now, wouldn't you agree that in order to really trust other people, that we need to trust ourselves first? So the first step in you applying this tool is my rules for me. And I'm going to give you some easy things to do to strengthen whichever step you're on. So if what you're working on is my rules for me, then you're working on your own connection to your inner knowing, guidance, creative flow. And that is as simple as beginning with the commitment to listen. Because each one of us has that connection in our own unique way. Our intuitions may hit us as a feeling, or may come as a sound, or we may just get a picture, or some combination, or different things at different moments, but we need to develop that tool for ourselves. So the first step is just to say, yes, I want to know what my intuition is telling me. Now, the great thing about this step is it hooks you up with your powerful, amazing supercomputer unconscious mind. Because our unconscious mind is a processor hundreds of thousands times more powerful than our conscious mind. And it has actually recorded everything we've heard, felt, seen, or imagined since birth. So as we develop that connection to our inner knowing, we're actually allowing our supercomputer unconscious mind to help us with our daily lives, achieving our goals, meeting our wants and needs. When I was first beginning this process, one memory I have that's very clear is driving in LA along a familiar route. And this was before GPS. And I was about to go my normal route, and I just felt within me this really strong urge to take this alternate way. But the tool was not very strong. The muscle was not very strong for me. And I felt it. I knew I kind of said go that way. But I could see the road. It was clear, so I just went the normal way. And sure enough, down the road a few miles, it was snarled. It was stopped. I was delayed. I was late. All that could have been avoided just by following that gentle little nudging to take the other route. And what it did is it deepened my commitment to listen when those little hits of intuition come, to listen and to follow. If your step, if you've got that down and you feel like you have a strong connection and you follow it when it comes, then your next step may be your rules for you. And this is a wonderful step because it really frees up time, energy, and mental space. Often we're putting our fingers in things that we don't have control over, like me with my younger brother thinking I knew how to do it better because I was older. When you find yourself overwhelmed or resenting someone and you notice it, stop. Take a breath. Pull back and ask, am I applying my rules for you? Am I controlling something that I don't need to control or that I actually can't control anyway? What can I do right this second to pivot a little or a lot to allow the people around me to shine? My rules for me, your rules for you. Henry Miller said, living apart and at peace with myself, I realize more vividly the meaning of the doctrine of acceptance. To refrain from giving advice. To refrain from meddling in the affairs of others. To refrain, even though the motives be the highest, from tampering in the lives of others, in the way of life of others. So simple, yet so difficult for the active spirit. Well, today, now, you all know how. So let it begin today and here. Enjoy your life more, and in your own small way, contribute to greater peace on earth. Practice. Your rules, my rules for me, your rules for you.